Hello everyone and welcome back to another Grainman Travels, and this time I'm on the European continent. So I'm actually in Holland and I'm on a new map called East Groningen, and this map was released on the 15th of the 5th 2023. It's 245.63 megabytes. It's made by a modder called NorthEastModding, and it works on PC, Mac, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and both Xbox series of consoles. Now this is on a version 1.0.0.0 and it does need a couple of required mods which I'll just run through quickly. So you've got the Old Farm Package by DMI 20mm Normandy, you've got Modern Shed by DMI 20mm Normandy and Dutch Modding Incorporated, Dutch Shed Pack by Reffarmer and DM 20mm Normandy, Farmsilo Package by DMI 20mm Normandy, Pigsty by MefiuFs, Big Chicken Barn by Jelonek, Seedpotato Farm Pack by Dazed, Cowshed Pack by DMI 20mm Normandy, Slurry Storage Pack by Dutch Modding Inc., Medium Bunker Silo by KO3Y, Crop Storage Pack by DMI 20mm Normandy, Manure Bassin by DMI 20mm Normandy, and finally Pigshed by DMI 20mm Normandy. So quite a lot of mods there by DMI 20mm Normandy. So because this is actually based on Holland or in the Netherlands, it's a very flat map with obviously there's some dikes and big areas of river that run through with some bridges across. So it's quite a nice little map. There's a few little isms with it though I found that mean it doesn't really rank massively high for me personally in the last couple of Grainman Travels videos, but it's still quite a nice little map. So let's run through some of the other information that's on ModHub about it. So this is a Dutch map based on 3 small villages: Billigham, Bellingwold and Oldschan. It's got 163 fields, 3 sales points, 1 BGA, many cow farms, pig sheds and chickens. It's based on real life infrastructure. It has got a custom soil map for the precision farming, which is clay apparently, and there's also some more paintable stone types as well. So what we'll do first then, let's go back to the first farm where we're in new farmer mode. We've got a little bit more money than normal because I've been adding some in so I can buy some additional areas to show you in this map tool. So let's start with the equipment as we do always. So first off, we've got a John Deere 6110M tractor, 330 horsepower. We've got a Bura 100 horsepower cabless tractor, which is quite nice to see, something a little bit different. We've got a Massey Ferguson MF8S205 as a medium tractor. It's a really nice tractor, that I do like that tractor. We've got a Schaffer 25 horsepower front loader. Not a massive fan of those. I find them quite difficult to control because obviously they steer in the middle, but again, something nice to see. We've got a Nordsten seeder, which is a nice 3 meter seeder on there. We've got 2 KUHN, we've got a finger bar mower and a front mower, so that's pretty standard to see. We've got a KUHN GF8712 tedder, which is nice. We've got a Pottinger Top 342 windrower, that's quite nice to see a Pottinger in there as well. We've actually got some quite nice grass equipment as well. We've got a nice Pottinger Faro 4010D, that's quite nice to see in a starter farm. We've obviously got the Trailed Line 4.0 Premium forage mixing wagon from Silo King, so that's good. And we've got a manure fork for the front loader. So we also start with, we'll just skip to what we start with. So we start with a few fields. We start with 146, 163, 13 and 2. Now we're in this area at the moment, so let me just change it so we're not flying about. There we go. So we started here in this on new farmer mode. So we start with this cow barn, if I can actually get to it. There we go. Animal deer. So it's 140, head cow barn, so that's quite nice. We've got a nice area here for our new equipment that we've got. The only problem is I think it's a bit tight. If you had some really big equipment with a big trailer or something, you'd find this area a little bit tight to get out of. There's no sleep trigger here either, which is a little bit interesting, but it's just something that seems to have not been on this part of the map. There's also 3 silage pits, which are nice to see, and then we start with this big grass field here, which obviously will be pretty impressive when we come to do harvesting, so that's pretty good. The map itself comes with a few different productions as well, but not that many to speak of, nothing amazing or unusual. So what we'll do is we'll just go to show the actual map itself. So the fields are very square, most of them, so there's an awful lot of square fields down here, a few ones with a few angles, etc. The road system is pretty, it's very gritty and a little bit boring, I think, as well, 'cause it's like straight and then a few turns here and there, etc. It's not massively interesting in that respect, so it does make it a little bit boring to travel from field to field or different areas. So you do get an awful lot of animal pastures that you can purchase. So you've got like a sheep pasture here, another one there, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 chicken sheds as well, so you can see them in your animals. So you start with obviously a pigsty, chicken coop, a chicken coop, a chicken coop, a chicken coop, a sheep pasture and a sheep pasture, cow barn and a horse barn. Now I think if we skip, so this is where the cow barn is here, that's fine. So if we skip to the sheep barn and the chicken pastures, then I can show you this, because this is the first sheep pasture. It only takes 15 sheep. It's not very large, and also does need to have water brought to it. So obviously that's a little bit, it's okay, but obviously it's just something you need to be aware of if you wanted to up your like sheep game sort of thing in the game, if that makes sense. There's 15 in that one as well. Now the chicken barn, the chicken coops are massive. Like, they are absolutely huge. 5,000 chickens in each one. I've never seen chicken barns as big as this on a map before. So, and there's 4 of them. So obviously they're going to take an awful lot of food, but they're also going to produce an awful lot of eggs. So I dread to think how many eggs you will get out of these chicken barns when they're on full production with that many chickens. So it's something just to think of, but it could be quite a good adventure and an adventure for someone to actually run if they wanted to become like a mass chicken farmer on this map. It's pretty easy to do. So if we wanted to buy that, let's put 170, that's £142,200. So it's not massively cheap, but it's you know, it's quite an interesting area. So then obviously you also get up here the pigsty. If we just go to there, that's here. That's again on another part of the map. So that's actually got one in there already, and it's 100 head pig barn. But this is quite a nice farm, and obviously there's dikes around the side as well. So if we go around this side, see, it's something you might just need to be aware of as well with the dikes, because obviously if you're going from field to field, you might end up diking your tractor, which could be quite comical to say the least. So, but yeah, apart from that, it's a pretty self-explanatory area, this one, I suppose. So if we wanted to buy that though, so okay, so if we bought that, yeah, okay, and this is now ours. So then once you've bought it, you also get some additional pigsties, which is quite nice. So obviously this is if you want to go into pigs massively, you can. If you want to go into chickens massively on this map, you can. So that's quite nice. If we then just go back again to some of the other areas, so you've got horse barn over here. So it's not, it's a pretty large horse barn, so it's 14, so it's not as large as some, but it's still, and every single farm that's got like animals and etc. has got like these nice sheds with them as well. And obviously it's got a bit of an arena to do some jumping as well with your horses. So something a little bit different, so that's quite nice as well. So if we just go back to the map again, as you can see, we've it's not an awful lot of productions or places to sell things. It's a very arable and animal heavy map, I would say. So there's some other farms and places you can buy. So like one of the other things that it does have, though, it does have in your productions, because obviously we've run through all the animals, but obviously the more animal enclosures you're going to have, the more expensive this is going to be, so just be careful of that. There is quite a lot of contracts, so it does seem to be working quite well with the contracting system. Fertilising contracts, these are a ridiculous amount, which is quite nice to see. Quite a few harvesting, spraying, etc., so that's good. So you do get started off with 2 large greenhouses, which are separate to the main farm again. So we'll go here. So these are in their own separate area. So if we just show this on the map again, you'll see where this is. So on the map, this is actually up to the top. It's absolutely fine. Obviously large greenhouse and water tank. So again, standard greenhouses as part of the main game. But if you want to buy the land, now interestingly you get the production but you don't have the land, so that's something I'm quite surprised about. But if let's say we wanted to buy the land, we can't buy the land where the greenhouses are, which is a bit strange. Some of the areas you can buy, some you can't. So also on productions, you've also got a new one called Potato Storage and Sorting Shed. Now I've never actually run this before, but also it's one of the required mods that's needed. So again, this is these 2 buildings here, this one and this one. Now they're actually split into potato storage and sorting shed and new potato sorting shed. Now one of these needs big bags and empty pallets, which you can actually buy from the shop as part of the mod. This one doesn't, it just needs potatoes, etc. Now when I was fiddling and playing with this map a little bit, I did find the trigger to put potatoes in a little bit finicky. Now I don't know if that's the map itself, or it might be this potato sorting mod, but obviously I'm not here to review the mod itself. It's just another nice feature, I suppose, of this map. It's something a bit different, so you can do massive amount of chickens, pigs, cows, sheep, and obviously then you can do some really large amount of potato sorting. So if you're into that, then fantastic. It's really good. So, but you know, it's something to try and give it a whirl. There's a few little issues though. I mean, like some of the placements of some of the buildings aren't amazing. It's a little bit, I don't know, there's a few areas like on here when it's been placed. You can just get into this building and get into this door here as well. Just things like you've still got the grass coming through in places, and you've got the lines on the car park or the bays. So I don't know, it might just be me just being a little bit picky. I mean, generally the map plays quite nicely. It's very bright, the textures are nice. Because it's based in Holland, obviously it's very, very flat, and there's not much undulation or features on the map, which does make it a little bit boring to play in my opinion. So, but there we go. So if we then move to, there's no custom crops, and it isn't a custom crop calendar either. So it's a standard crop calendar and standard crops. One thing I will say is I think obviously selling stations, it's like selling station 1, 2, 3 and 4. Might have been a good idea to try and name them something a little bit different, just to give a bit of variety to the game. So, but apart from that, again, just these little things that might just make the map just that little bit better. If we actually look at the general map layout, as I said earlier, the roads are pretty standard. It's kind of like a grid formation round the fields. You've got this river area here, or big large drainage dike, and another one here and through there and up there as well, and there's quite a few in between the fields as well, as we've said. So it's okay. I mean, if we start at this corner, obviously this is where the pigs and the place where you can actually sleep now. So when you first start the game, you don't have anywhere to sleep. If you buy additional land with some farm sheds and some animal enclosures, you actually get a farmhouse to sleep at. So again, slightly unusual. Greenhouses are here, like I said, and up here we've got the gas station, we've got a supermarket, and then down here we've got a medium petrol tank. You've got your horse barn, like we said earlier. Another gas station, but it's quite a big map to travel around, so I can understand why there's quite a lot of gas stations. Another supermarket. Where we are now, the new potato sorting shed. This is obviously where you've got your sheep and your chickens. You've got another gas station, a dairy, a grain mill, selling station 1, 2, 3, 4, lime station, animal dealer, etc. So if we just visit here, we've got obviously the shops there as well. So this is the dairy, so that's pretty good. Let's see how much the dairy is to purchase. Nice cows outside, that's quite cool. I must admit, that's quite a nice idea. See if we can get to this dairy quick. 70,000, that's not bad. That's not too bad at all. Obviously you've got your main machinery dealer here, which is where you start off when you first start the map. You've got a few areas here, so you've got your lime station, and you've got your selling stations as well. So I don't know, I just think this is it could be slightly more adventurous, I think, with some of the selling stations for some of the root crops and some of your default crops. So just makes the map a little bit probably could get quite repetitive. So, but what we'll finish with, I think, is we'll finish with the field prices. So if I remember rightly, we'll switch to this mode. Right, so let's say we start on the farm here. So let's say we want to extend. So we've got a big grass field here. Let's say we want to extend into 88. 185,000, 71, 263,000, 327,000, 151,000. The field price is quite expensive. So let's say you want to start with some smaller fields at the top. 4162, 2741. That's not too bad, I suppose. 55, 48. It's not bad. The field prices are, I would say, about average. There's an awful lot of fields that you can pick, and there's also some areas of forestry here, 173, 174, etc. So you can get into doing a bit of forestry as well. No sawmill though, so that could be quite interesting to where to sell. I'm guessing if you were to sell wood, just as a quick check, no. So be careful of that. There's nowhere to sell wood on this map, but there is places to sell wood chip. So if you wanted to get into forestry, you probably have to go down the wood chip venture anyway. So just something to be aware of. You don't start with any additional literage of anything either. Like some maps I've reviewed recently, you obviously start sometimes with like 1,000 litres of liquid fertiliser, etc. Hopefully you found this Grainman Travels video informative and fun. If so, give it a like and subscribe to the Grainman channel for more content. I hope to see you again soon. Many thanks.